The WSL season gets off and underway tonight, and here to preview the campaign, delighted to say Siobhan Chamberlain joins us right now. There she is again. Magnificent. Very good morning to you, Siobhan. Right, what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and get through all 12 clubs in 10 minutes. That's the challenge we've got here. So take a deep breath, because we're going to start with Chelsea. Emma Hayes has built a winning machine, hasn't she? They've strengthened again. How does anybody stop them?
For me, they're outright favourites. I think they should win the WSL if everything goes according to plan for them. I think their target has to be winning the Champions League this season. They got so close last year, and they'll want to go that one step further. They've been quite shrewd with their signings. They've strengthened defensively, but they've also signed Lauren James, who long-term will be an absolute superstar for them. So by not signing too many players over the window, it probably avoids Emma Hayes having too many more selection headaches, because I'm sure she's probably got enough. But for me, outright favourites for the season.
OK, and we see them celebrating there. Will they be doing it again at the end of this season, or will their rivals pip them? I guess the best place to do that, if we look at the history books, is Manchester City, runners-up for the last 4 seasons. They boast a host of England players, but is it enough to catch Chelsea?
It's going to be difficult for them, especially Lucy Bronze has just had surgery on her knee, so she's out for a period of time. She'll be a big loss for them. And they played Real Madrid midweek in the Champions League, and they had a lot of players out injured. They had a 1-1 draw, so it would have been a difficult game for them. And then they've got a tough opener on Saturday against Everton, who we'll talk about moving forwards, but they're looking really exciting for the season ahead. So it will be difficult for them, but they need to hit the ground running this year. They had a bit of a poor start last year, accelerated into the season as it went on and picked up some fantastic results. But it's so important in the WSL to get results early on.
Yep. Let's talk about changes at your former club as well, Arsenal. Joe Montemuro has moved on. Jonas Eidevall has come in. How will that transition be?
I think the thing that you get with Arsenal is whoever they bring in, they need to fit the Arsenal style of play, their playing philosophy. And I think that will definitely help with transitions. Arsenal have a style, they want to play football. They like the way they play from front to back to front. They like possession-based football. And I think having someone come in that fits that mould is perfect for them. And they've had the benefit of playing a couple of Champions League games already, so they're already up and running. And I think for me, you look at Iwabuchi, Arsenal fans will absolutely love watching her play. She's been fantastic so far, and I'm really looking forward to seeing her play for Arsenal in the WSL this season. Yeah.
So a head coach change at Arsenal and at Manchester United as well. Casey Stoney has left. Mark Skinner has come in again. How will that work at United?
Again, it's a very quick turnaround. I think he was only announced a month ago, so it's difficult to impose your style of play, impose any type of changes that you want to make in such a short period of time. But as I said before, you don't have the luxury of time in the WSL. There's not a lot of games. You've got to get results instantly, and there's pressure being a Manchester United player. There's pressure from the fans, from the club, the name, the brand. You need to be winning. So it'll be hard for them to pick up instantly. But I've got every confidence in my former team that they'll be able to do it. And they've got Reading and Leicester the first 2 games. So they're big matches to get results in ahead of a tough game against Chelsea.
Yeah. Now, you've already got excited about Everton. So let's get to them. 5th last summer. And some good news signings, including Tony Duggan. So, Willie Kirkside, are you tipping them as ones to watch?
Most definitely. If you were going to pick one side in the league that you weren't necessarily expecting to do as well, then definitely Everton. I think they've made some fantastic signings. You've mentioned Tony Duggan. They've also signed Kenza Dali, Leonie Meyer, 3 excellent Swedish internationals that have all done it excellently at the Olympics in the summer. So they've put a big investment in. They've backed Willie Kirk and who he wants to sign, and it's up to the players and the manager now to go out there, put in the performances and get them into that top 3, because that's got to be their target this season. Yeah.
Let's get on to Brighton, shall we? We've been behind the scenes this summer with them, which has been great. The experience of Hope Powell in charge. How do they challenge the top sides?
It's always going to be difficult to challenge and to break into that top 3, top 4, even potentially top 5 now. but they're organised. They've got good, experienced WSL players. They've got a great manager, as you already mentioned, and they've proven they can beat the best. They beat Chelsea 1-0 last season to break their unbeaten record. They beat Manchester United. I think the thing for Brighton is, can they nail that consistency? Can they get those results throughout the season, which is the most difficult part, to get consistent wins and keep clean sheet?
OK, let's get on to Reading. Some new faces in this summer. How much will that help them climb the table?
Yeah, it's going to be a real transition year for Reading. I think they've made a lot of signings. They've lost a lot of players. It's going to be really hard for them to replace the likes of Farrah Williams, Angharad James. I think Angharad played every single minute of every single game last season, and that's hard to replace, especially when they're in the centre of your midfield. Jess Fishlock as well. She's gone back to America. So it's going to be a real transition for them, and they've got a tough opener against Manchester United tonight. But it'd be exciting to see Natasha Dowie back in the WSL. I think it's been 5 years since she's been gone. And then an Olympic winner in Deanne Rose. Everyone wants to see winners of the Olympics.
Yeah. Now, let's talk Tottenham. Caused a splash last season, didn't they? Signing Alex Morgan. She returned to America. Rand Skinner appointed a head coach in November 2020. Will we see her stamp her authority on this side this season?
Yeah, I mean, I seem like I'm saying this quite a bit, but again, it's going to be a real transition for them. They've signed 10 players, they've released 11. It's evidently her making it her team. But again, it's going to be hard to break into that top section of the league. And who is going to be their Alex Morgan this year? It's really hard to replace a player like that. But it's an opportunity for a lot of their players to make their mark and say, I'm going to be the next superstar of Tottenham.
OK, 8 teams down, 4 to go. Let's crack on. And like others, we've been talking about new signings in at West Ham. Ollie Harder came in as manager last December. What do you see for them this season?
Yeah, again, 9 new signings. So there's been a big transition at West Ham as well. I think we see that across the board, especially in the lower half of the WSL. It's going to be tough for them. They lost Kenza Darley and Martha Thomas, 2 of probably their best players last season. They're going to have to be hard to beat. I think Kaya Simon is a good signing for them, but she's going to be under pressure to score goals early on for them.
OK, Aston Villa. Difficult campaign last year, winning just 3 times in 22 games. There's always a but, isn't it? Carla Ward has arrived from neighbours Birmingham City. What do you make of that appointment?
Yeah, she's done really well at Birmingham. She managed to keep them in the league, which a lot of people thought they might have got relegated at some point last season. And she's also done really well at Sheffield United before she signed there. So she's got a bit of experience. She'll be looking to get more experience. And I think one of the key things for her in the transfer window, she hasn't gone out and signed any major stars. She's signed WSL experience. And sometimes if you want to remain in the league, that's what you need. You need hard-working players that have got that bit of nous, that understand how to play in the league. And I think that's really important. And she's done that really well.
OK, to the club she left, that's Birmingham. They've appointed Scott Booth to replace her. It was a difficult season last year off the field, wasn't it? Point deducted, players complaining to the board. How much are you hopeful things will run smoother this season?
Oh, definitely hopeful for the players' sake, because nobody wants unrest. But I think it's going to be a tough season for them, definitely, especially with the amount of investment across the board in the WSL. And they've got a very small squad, and you pick up a couple of injuries and then you're in trouble. So fingers crossed for them, but it's going to be a very difficult season. OK, and finally, you can almost take a breath in a moment. Leicester, the new team in the division. It's their WSL debut. Manager Jonathan Morgan signed a new deal this summer. And there's new signings yet again. Abby McManus and Jess Sigsworth. So how will their debut campaign go? Yeah, 2 great signings for them. Again, I spoke about Villa signing some WSL experience. That's key for Leicester, signing some experienced players that understand the demands of the WSL. It's a huge jump from the Championship to the FAWSL, and those players have got to fit in straight away. They've got to adjust to the tempo, the speed of play, and the technical side of it. And it's going to be a hard season, but I have no doubt that with the signings they've made, they'll definitely be competitive within the league. And the investment from Leicester has been fantastic as well. So it's great to see clubs investing well in their women's teams.
Siobhan, breathe. You can take it easy. We managed to do it. We got through all 12 teams. Thank you so much for joining us on the Football Show.
Thank you. Lovely to be there.